So where to start? We need to start a mindset change. It's not easy. It doesn't come overnight. So we need to have a new mental and emotional framework. And to get new habits, and believe it or not, it takes 21 to 30 days to do a new habit, because our brain can actually build new pathways into our brain to start new habits. So you have better chances if you don't catastrophize everything and supersize the issue and escalate it and overreacting because of the neediness that you have to attract attention to you. And you clearly communicate your needs, because guess what? People don't have a crystal ball. People might be able to help you or to give you what you want, but you're not sharing what you want. And people say, you know what, like, they should have known, or my husband should have known better, or my wife knows me by now. No, people cannot read your mind. You have to actually ask for what you want. And knowing that you will not be the cup of tea for everyone, and that's okay. You know, I learned through the time to love my perfect imperfections, and I don't really care if people will take it or not. Know that at times you're going to get rejected or you will have a conflict. So don't cage yourself in that space where you don't want a conflict and you don't want to be rejected, and that's why you want to be nice, and that's why you're not assertive. Courage is to stand up for yourself, and this is the first step that you can do. You can develop trust and self-esteem. Most importantly, if you want to change, you want to define your why. Your why will be your inspiration, why you want to change. So to guarantee that you have a commitment that will not go away, you have to undiscover why is it that you want to become assertive? Why are you doing what you're doing? And what's the payoff that you get right now from not being assertive? From not being assertive, what's your payoff? Do you think people like you better? Do you think that people think that you are a kinder person? What is it? You know, that you don't want to cause problems in your family? What is it? What is the payoff that for you not to being assertive right now? So you have to start thinking also, and you can write all that down. You know, what is holding you back from becoming assertive? What are you attached to that doesn't make you assertive? Only when you are aware of the attachment that's holding you down or what's holding you back, that you can do something about it and stop it. So for example, when you say, I'm doing this because I am identifying with my family on this, and if I stop, they won't love me anymore, and who would I be if I didn't do these things anymore? You know, and who would I be if I started voicing my opinions? It's the fear that your family will separate itself from you. So you need to start being genuine and honest with yourself. What's holding you back? And when we change, we are between two powers, right? Like, if I change, this will happen, the pain of changing and the pain of not changing. And the pain of not changing has always to be higher than the pain of changing. And this will be your motivation to actually change yourself and do something. And only you can decide that. Only you can decide that. So you need to recognize the fear that feel detached, to feel judged, to feel ridiculed, to feel embarrassed, to feel hated, to feel, not liked. So what we need to do with fear, first of all, fear are fake elements appearing real. So what we need to deal with fear first. To deal with the fear first is basically, you need to face the fear. You need to name it. You need to claim it. You need to release it. You need to reinvent it and journal it. What does that mean? Meaning that writing down what's holding you up and what are your attachment, you need to face that fear, okay? And you need to name it. It's like, Is it a fear of ridicule? Is it a fear of not being liked? Is it a fear of judgment? Is it a fear of losing my family? You need to name it and then claim it. Say, yeah, I own this. I own that this is my fear. I cannot run away from it. And only when you claim it, you don't have that fear anymore. And then you release it because, you know what, I'm taking my chances, because the pain of not changing is bigger than the pain of changing. And then maybe we can use this fear and reinvent it. And how do we reinvent it? When we have fear, our brain goes to the worst case scenario, right? So we can use that worst case scenario as a window into our future and prepare for that worst case scenario. So whatever happens from now to that worst case scenario, it's actually a win. So we are trying to reinvent how we deal with the fear in our brain. Journaling everything, specifically when you are ready for a change, is very important. Because when you write your feelings and your thoughts, you actually are detaching them from your brain and you become an observer to these feelings. And when you detach yourself from the emotions and feeling, you can take better decision making. Remember, we are not our thoughts. We are not our thoughts. We experience them. We are not our fears, but we feel them. So this is what I want you to become kind of first point of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. So the more self-aware that you build in yourself, the more you can actually fight fear and make it your friend. I call it F to F, fear to friend, because it can be your window to the future. So where to start? This is an exercise that I'm going to give you to do, and I do it at least once a week now. Stand in front of a mirror with hands on your hip and head high. Take a couple of deep breaths and tell yourself, looking straight in the eye, I stand up for myself. I respect myself. 5 times. And then repeat that through the days. Some people will call these affirmations. And some people call it's woohoo out there. It's like, let's sing kumbaya and hold hands and lighten up candles, where all that is great. But this is actually have a scientific meaning. Because affirmations, when you have affirmations, it communicates to your brain, because our brain, 75% is unconscious and 25% is conscious. And the conscious will always find the way to do whatever the conscious is thinking, is telling it to do. And the brain doesn't know the difference between positive and negative. So the more affirmation, the more positive things we're going to tell our conscious, and we're going to, by repeating it, becomes part of our unconscious, our conscious will find a way to do it. For example, when I mean that it doesn't know the negative from positive, if I'm trying to lose weight and I keep telling myself, don't eat sweets, don't eat sweets. My brain cannot understand don't eat. All what it hears is sweets. So it will eat more. And that's why people sometimes on diet can't understand why they're not losing weight, because they are using the wrong formatting. So in order for you to change and to build a new habit, you need to start with the positive. You need to start with what you want, not what you don't want. So for me, instead of saying don't eat sweets, I would say healthy, eat healthy, 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 and that's why, and the more our brain needs to see or hear something for at least 7 times, so it can become part of the subconscious part of it. And the best part, believe it or not, to make your affirmations work is before you close your eyes, you repeat it 3 to 5 times. I am assertive, I am assertive, I am assertive. And it will take the whole night to work on your subconscious. Because when you do affirmations, you're basically flooding your brain with positive chemicals like oxytocin and serotonin, and that these hormones make you even happier. So your body wants to be like that again. So the more you feel that, the more your body wants to repeat it again. And that's actually the neuroscience behind of how we can change habits, including how to become more assertive. These are some techniques of assertiveness. Broken record, or what we call desk scripting. So what's broken record? Broken record is basically knowing something that you want and keep repeating it over and over and over in the same tone, but you need to rehearse it. And, you know, and it's exactly what you need or want. So for example, I'm going to share an example. We wanted to return something one day, and the girl on the cashier would not return it. And no, you got it online, you have to return it. And it was a bike. And I kept telling her, I need to return this bike here. And she would like say whatever she has to say. I would say again, I need to return this bike here. I'm not kidding you, 7 or 8 times. And she got so frustrated, you know. So I told her, I really appreciate your help so far, and I think we came to an impasse. Can I speak to your manager, please? And of course, she jumped up and down, and she goes, she's going to tell you the same thing I just told you, because this is our policy. I told her, I appreciate that, and you might be right. I still need to talk to your manager. I didn't get angry. I didn't get upset. And I kept saying, I need to return the bike. Guess what happened? I returned the bike there. Because there is always a way on doing things. I did not push my way through. I did not scream and yell. I did not diminish her. I did not insult her, you know, and though like I was getting so upset, but I still didn't. All what I kept doing is like a broken record. I need to return the bike now. Try it sometimes. The second one is desk scripting. So D is to describe what is happening to you from your own point of view. The E is express how you're feeling. The S is be specific about what you like to happen, be it as a result. And the C is the consequences, what will happen if you don't get what you want. And it's not a threat, but just say how you're gonna feel if you don't get it. So it's discussing your feeling and how it affects your feeling, basically. Like, for example, you might remember the college days. You might tell your roommate, playing your CD really loud again. That's the D. It's really getting on my nerves and distracting me while I'm trying to write my assessment. This is the E. I had like you to turn it down, please. That's the S, or the results. If you don't, I will play some music with high volume later while you are trying to watch your favorite TV show. This is the consequences of what's gonna happen. So desk, D-E-S-C, describe what's happening, express how it's making you feel, say what you would like to happen or the result and the consequences if it's not gonna happen. So these are the solutions. Let's start with the solutions now. The first step is, if you really don't like how you behave in a certain way, where the pain of not changing is bigger than the pain that changing, you can control your habits and you can change actually your habits. For example, if your friend that is always late coming to lunch shows up, you know, at 20 minutes late to your lunch, the inappropriate way to say is like, oh my God, you're so rude, you're always late. So being assertive is say, you were supposed to meet at 11:30, but now it's 11:50. And then the inappropriate way, again, that's emotional leverage. Now lunch is ruined. But assertive communication will be, now I have less time to spend with you because I have to be back at work at 1. See the difference in the way we're talking? And you still said what you wanted to say. So the first thing is that you need to want to change, because no one is going to make you change except you. You need to be crystal clear about what you want. Like we said in the desk, you describe clearly the behavior and the action that is at hand. Talk about the situation. And if you don't like it, talk about it and don't attack the person. And express why you're talking about it and what you want to happen and the consequences that you have. Consider your feelings, your opinion, your wants, as well as the other people in front of you. Use your empathy. Put yourself in other people's shoes, even if they're not doing that. It's about You deal with people as you. You do not you do not deal with people as they are. You deal with people as you. Leverage what you have to have a win-win situation. And then, like we said before, use I statement. When you say you are putting the other person on the defensive right away. Like, you make me angry. You are the reason why I'm not making progress. You are the reasons why I don't feel self-confident. Guess what? No one can make you feel self-confident except yourself. So if you start with the I, the focus starts more on how you're feeling and how you are affected. So there is less blame on the other person. And at the same time, you're taking accountability, responsibility, and ownership of your reaction, emotions, and need. So it's not all on them. You can disagree in an empathetic way to get your point through. You don't have to destroy the person or their opinion because they don't agree with you. Like, for example, I always say this. Some people say, I'm just honest. Honesty can be cruelty. So there is a way and there is a way. So we need also, when we are learning to be assertive, we learn to be also how to be empathetic and kind and use the I statement. Like, and we can ask for clarification or no sarcasm at all. So I want to make sure I understand. Can you please repeat that? Or can I repeat what I just heard to make sure that I understood? Like, for example, if I'm going in a discussion with my husband, I would start with, like, I love you with all my heart. In this situation, I felt this. So I start with love. I start with positive. So I don't put him in a defensive and it goes out of whack. The discussion goes out of whack. You need to sometimes assure people that they are still loved, you know, that they're not going to lose you, but at least to show them, you know, that you're there, you know, that you're coming from a place of love, not of attacking. You also need to stand. Assertiveness is to stand your ground. Your needs are valid for you, and all the emotions that we feel are valid no matter what. And that's why we need to establish these ground rules and boundaries from the get-go. And we can offer alternatives. Maybe we can do this can be done, or this can be done, or this can be done, so the person doesn't feel cornered. And always keep calm. Even if before the discussion you need to do deep breathing, like you inhale from your nose, you retain it, or you hold it and then exhale from your mouth. Do it 3-4 times. 15 seconds, it's all that it takes to reset your brain from any feelings that you're feeling to neutral. Angry, frustrated, whatever it is, 15 to 30 seconds, that's all you need. That means 3 to 5 deep breathings, and it will kick from the survival mode of the brain to the emotional part to the logical part of the brain. 30 seconds, that's all you need. It's perfectly fine to ask why. Like, if you feel a demand or a request is out there, you know, maybe that person has something else in mind that you cannot see at the moment. So it's always preferable that you ask in a positive note and tone, you know, why do they want you to do this now? You know, and like I said, no is good and complete answer, especially if it's not, Dora, I'll get to you in a second. So you don't feel obligated to always justify or explain your opinions. And then, so this is a general formula that we can use if we are still new on building assertive communication. So the general formula, it's like when you, and actually I will change that, and I will start with, and I put the contrast here because this is how people usually tell you to do. When you, I usually start with I feel. I drop the when you. So I feel, and you say how you feel because, and then you say why you feel that way and what you want as an alternative. And you need to be very specific. So we'll start with I feel or I felt because what I want, need from you is. And you can keep working with that as you go. So for example of that, when you arrive late, I have to wait and I feel frustrated. Can I count on you to be on time next time? Or when you tell the kids they can do something that I have already forbidden, some of my authority as a parent is taken away and I feel undermined. Yeah. So I would start with I feel, because, and what you want as a result. Do not stand on the edge of your glory. You have so much inside of you that you can offer to other people, but other people will not know unless you are assertive and stand up for yourself. Your success is right here, right now. So claim it, own it, love your perfect imperfection. And I, like I said, not everybody is gonna like you. Not everybody is gonna appreciate what you can to offer, and it's okay. It's okay.